just enjoy a lovely all-round, well-rounded practice. A little bit of everything for the whole body temple, hips and spine and shoulders in particular. So if you have a yoga block, then have that nearby. But if you don't have a block, it's absolutely not completely necessary. You'll be fine to practice without it. And of course, as you might have seen, this practice is pregnancy friendly, as I'm also navigating pregnancy. So if you are practicing and you are pregnant, please enjoy, but remember that you can always skip something or modify, and just really listening in to what your body and your baby need today. And I'll do my best to remind you too. Okay, that's enough talking from me. Let's get started together. We're going to start in a downward facing dog. So I'll meet you there, and you can have the feet about hip width distance and just take a few moments to arrive. You might bicycle or cycle a little through the legs as you steady the gaze and begin to attune to the rhythm of your breath. We'll take another inhalation here in our first down dog. And on the exhale, we'll just lower the knees to the mat and step our right foot forward between the hands and come on up, both hands to front thigh. And we'll just allow the hips to shift forward and down and up and back. So we're just pulsing a little bit the pelvis forward and down, up and back. And of course, if your knee is a little bit sensitive, then feel free to put a folded blanket, a towel beneath the knee, just to give that little bit of extra cushioning and love and care for your knee. We'll do one more. And then we'll release together and step straight back to our second downward dog of the practice. And here you might sway the hips a little bit, side to side, and the feet can travel with you, toes towards one side of the mat and then toward the other. And dear ones, if you are enjoying practicing with me or would like to practice with me again, then remember to subscribe so that you know when the next practice is available or uploaded for you to enjoy. Okay, we'll come back to center and same again, knees to mat and step the left foot forward between the hands, both hands to front thigh, and pulsing the hips forward and down and up and back. We're just gently warming up our body, inviting an opening, a releasing, relaxing even through the front of that back leg, hip and thigh. And the next time your hips shift forward and down, let that be the last time for now. Plant the hands and we'll step back again. Downward facing dog. So before we come to the top of the mat today, let's one more time lower the knees to the mat. And we'll take a lovely big step of the hands forward on the mat. Hands as wide as the shoulders, or maybe even just a touch wider, for half down dog as we lower the chest and the shoulders and the forehead toward the mat here. And see if you can keep this lovely sense of groundedness and anchoring down through the hands, and create the action of the forearms lifting up away from the mat today. Another conscious breath here. Next inhale, we'll press down into the hands and lift the head and the chest, and gently step the hands back in, curl the toes under and shift back once again, down dog. And now we'll walk, step or float the feet forward towards the hands at the top of the mat and arrive in our forward fold, folding over the legs. And today we'll have our feet hip width distance apart and do a lovely little twist here that can really get a little bit into the outer hip and thigh. So we'll keep our right leg as straight as it can go and bend our left knee. And then we'll place our left fingertips on the mat directly beneath our nose and start to turn the torso to the right and reach the right fingertips to the sky. And the key here is that as you reach the top of your right thigh back towards the back of your mat, we lengthen the spine forward. And then we'll release that and change sides. So left leg straight or towards straight, right knee bent, right fingertips to the mat beneath your nose, and rotating the torso to the left, reaching the left arm upwards. So that lovely length in the torso, forward, crown of head lengthening beyond the top of your mat is equally important here. And then we'll exhale, release, and sweetly fold forward over the legs for a moment here. And before we rise to stand today, stay as you are. I'm just going to turn to face you, so it's a little easier. We'll do one more little bit of play in our forward fold. So this time we're going to take our right leg and step it across in front of the left leg. So now the right foot is on the other side of the left foot. Don't worry if the knees are a little bit bent here, okay? And then you can lean your hips over towards the left side as you reach your arms and your hands toward the right. Hips leaning back into the left as you walk the hands, arms and torso forward and to the right. And then we'll walk the hands back to center, uncross the legs, and we'll just go straight to the second side. So this time, left leg crosses over in front of the right leg. Hips leaning back and to the right as we walk our hands, arms, torso forward and to the left. And any sensation you're experiencing here through the outer right leg, right hip, right side body is where we're really aiming for here. And then we can come back to center, uncross the legs, just come back to feet hip width distance apart. And we'll inhale, hands to shins, lift the chest, lengthen the spine. And let's stay here, hover here, bring the hands to the waist as you exhale. And then inhale, press into the feet. And rise all the way to stand. Okay, as we arrive to stand, let's interlace the fingers, turn the palms forward and reach the arms up overhead. And then we'll release that and now interlace the fingers behind us and reach the knuckles back and down. And as you do this, squeeze the shoulder blades toward one another. Now I like to bend my knees a little bit here, but you might choose to keep the legs straight as we fold forward now over the legs, keeping the interlace of the hands behind us and just letting your head hang. Next exhale, you can let the hands go. Let them drop down towards the mat. Okay, let's start to flow gently now together. Inhale, lengthen halfway, lift the spine, lengthen forward. Exhale, step the right foot back into a lunge. We'll keep our back knee lifted, our back leg strong here. And as we inhale, we'll turn towards the left and reach the left fingertips toward the sky. Exhale, left hand to mat and step back, downward facing dog. Inhaling to plank pose or to all fours. I'm going to do all fours today. And exhale, lower slowly all the way to the belly. And if you are pregnant and it's not comfortable to be on the belly, then you might return to this half downward facing dog that we did earlier. Otherwise, for those of us on the belly, let's experiment a little today and shift our hands a little further forward so the fingertips are in line with the tops of the shoulders, and a little bit further out so the hands are just a little wider. And as you inhale, keep hugging the elbows in, but press down and lift the chest into a Cobra pose with slightly different positioning of the hands. And then you can exhale and lower, and you might just do one more. It's nice to experiment a little with shapes that might be really familiar with us, especially over time if we've been practicing a lot. And next exhale, we'll release and press back into downward facing dog together. We'll meet there. Take an in-breath and down dog. And on the out-breath, right foot steps forward between the hands. And we'll twist again, inhaling, turning to the right, reaching the right arm upwards. And exhale, right hand to mat and left foot steps forward into Uttanasana, standing forward fold. Halfway lift, inhale, lengthen. Exhale, fold. And inhale to rise. You might sweep the arms wide today as you come up. Exhale, draw the palms together and down through center. Let's keep going. Inhale to reach the arms up overhead. Exhale to bow forward over the legs. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, right foot steps back, and this time right knee lowers to the mat or your folded towel or blanket. And let's shift the hips back here and start to straighten into that left leg, lifting the ball of the left foot and left toes away from the mat. And we'll keep our right hand on the mat now, right beneath our right shoulder, and we'll turn again, turning to the left. Inhaling, reaching the left arm upwards. And let's just stay here today, just for an extra breath, to enjoy this twisted variation of Ardha Hanumanasana. And on your next exhale, release the top hand down, rock forward and step back once again, downward facing dog. Inhale to all fours or to your plank pose. Exhale to lower to the belly or to take your half down dog puppy pose variation. Adjusting the hands a little further forward, a little wider. Inhale, Cobra. Exhale, lower. One more Cobra pose, inhaling. And back to downward facing dog on our exhalation. Taking an inhale and down dog. And we come straight back forward again. Exhale, right foot forward between the hands and left knee lowering to the mat. And we'll shift the hips back again and start to straighten through that right leg. Flexing the right toes towards the face. Left hand stays on the mat, turning to the right, reaching the right arm upward. And an extra breath here, just so we can really savor the moment, savor the pose, savor the shape. Next exhale, we'll bring the hand down, rock forward, step the back foot forward, and fold. Halfway on the in-breath, folding on the out-breath. And rising once again, inhale, rising and reaching, exhale and start. Let's move on now together. So if you've got your yoga block, we'll place it towards the top of the mat onto, let's go left side first today. And just have it nearby. Remember, if you don't have a block, no problem at all. Okay, here we go. Inhale, reach the arms up again. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale, lifting the chest as you press the feet down, halfway lift. Exhale, plant the hands and we'll step straight back to downward facing dog here. Let's inhale and raise the left leg up. And if you like, you can turn the front of the pelvis to the left, roll the left hip up over the right hip, so you get that lovely sense of release and opening through the inner thighs here. And you might bend the knee, allow the foot to drop back. And you're getting a little twist and a side bend up through the torso, the spine. And on your next exhale, we'll step left foot forward between the hands. And just pause a moment here on the fingertips. So our back foot, we're now going to anchor the sole of the back foot onto the mat. So pivot the back heel in and down onto the mat. And this is where you might use your block, bringing the hand to the block outside your front foot. And if you don't have a block, then you might bring the hand to the floor outside the front foot or your forearm up onto your thigh. And from here we'll open into Parsvakonasana. So as you're ready, we're going to rotate or roll open. Front of the pelvis and torso opens to the right and top arm reaches up and overhead. Utthita Parsvakonasana. And just taking a moment here to really enjoy that long side angle as you anchor through your back foot, reaching through your right fingertips and lengthening your tail towards your back heel. Okay, and then legs stay the same. We're going to lift the torso and rise to a warrior two. Arms reaching wide here. And front palm to sky. Let's just reach up and back. Peaceful warrior. Reversing lovely side bend here for left side body. And exhale to circle the hands to the mat. And step back, downward facing dog. Okay, so let's move through to the second side straight away together now. So right leg this time. Inhale, right leg rising. Allowing the leg to lift and the pelvis to turn. Right hip over left hip. Maybe bend the knee and drop the foot back, but only if that's comfortable for your body today. And on the exhale, right foot steps forward between the hands. And remember, you can always lower the knees to the mat first and then step the right foot through. And we'll meet here in our lunge with our back knee lifted. And then when you're ready, anchor the back foot down on the mat, just as you did on the last side. Keeping that lovely deep bend through the front knee and a reaching back through that back leg. We bring our hand to the block, to the floor, or forearm, my balance, forearm to thigh. And then as you're ready, rolling open through the front of the body, front of pelvis, torso, chest, open to the left, and top arm, reaching here. And just steady the gaze. Allow your head today, your neck, to be positioned in a way that feels congruent with the rest of your spine. One more breath. And legs stay the same. Inhale to rise, lifting the torso upright, reaching the arms wide, dropping back into that front leg again, even if it's a little tired. And then we reach up and back. So front palm to ceiling, reaching up and back, peaceful warrior. And exhale to circle the hands once again down to earth and step back to our beloved downward dog. And you might take a child's pose here if you just need a moment to be grounded or to rest a little. Or you might inhale, glide forward to plank or knees to mat. Exhale to lower to earth. Adjusting the position of the hands a little wider, a little further forward today. And 2 rolling Cobra poses, just at your own pace. Sometimes I like to stay and sway a little here. So if that feels good for you and doesn't bother your lower back, feel free to do that. And then on your next exhalation, wherever you are, whether you're in child's pose, you're taking a half down dog, puppy pose, or you were enjoying Cobra pose with me, let's journey to downward dog so we can come into a pigeon pose. And we'll go right knee forward, behind right wrist, and settle into single pigeon. And I'm well aware that for some of us, the front knee just does not feel good in pigeon pose at different stages of our life, or maybe we've just had a little injury, in which case my recommendation is to just be kind, to modify today and take a seated variation, knees bent, soles of feet to mat, outer right ankle to top of left thigh. And those of us that are in the pigeon pose, let's come onto the forearms today. Allow ourselves to melt a little. And for me, I love to sometimes enjoy a little movement in the pose. Just swaying a little side to side helps me to still get to the same muscle group, the external rotators in the outer hip, but just from slightly different angles. So you might enjoy that too. That's just an invitation. Everything with me is always an invitation. The most important thing is that you do whatever contributes to your well-being in your whole body-mind system. And on your next inhale, we're going to gently rise, come all the way back onto the hands. But now we're going to lean onto our right hip together and swing our left leg, our back leg, all the way around and cross over. So now we are in a Gomukhasana legs with your left leg on top. So left foot's outside right hip, right foot is outside left hip. And I know that also for some of us this is not a comfortable place to be. So if that's the case for you, then you can take Sukhasana, easy cross-legged pose, feet towards opposite knees. Still accessing and opening through the area of the outer hip and thigh. So either option is perfect. If you were in the seated figure 4 shape, then you'll just come and meet me in your Gomukhasana or your seated cross-legged forward fold. And let's take our thumbs, hook the thumbs into the hip creases, right at the top of your thigh, and anchor down. And as you sense into this groundedness, see if you can find an opposing force of lengthening upward through the spine. And keeping that, just start to gently bow forward over the legs. And then you might release the hands to the floor, to the mat in front of you, just to support you. Allow the gaze to drop, or you might even just close the eyes a moment. And on your next inhalation, we'll gently lift the torso, coming upright. From here, we'll take our top leg, our left leg, and lift it so that now the sole of the foot comes to the mat outside the right knee. If you've got a little bit of a belly or it just feels congested and tight here, then you might have the foot a little bit across to the other side of the knee, to the inside of that right knee. And if you were in a seated cross-legged shape, then you might just come now into a gentle twist from here to the left. So those of us that have the legs in Ardha Matsyendrasana shape, let's now wrap the right arm around the left knee, turning to the left, and our back arm, let's reach it back into the space behind us first, like we're doing Warrior 2 again with our back arm. And reaching that arm just a little bit further back for a moment before we release it and release the fingertips or the hand to the floor behind us. One more in-breath. And on the out-breath, let's unwind together and step back into a downward dog. So untangling the legs in whatever position they're in and lifting the hips up and back again. Take a breath here. Steady, smooth inhale. long, even exhale. And we'll go second side. Left knee forward into Pigeon Pose. Coming down onto the forearms if you choose to. Or if you're taking the variation, hands behind you, soles of feet to mat, knees bent, outer left ankle to top of right thigh. Adjusting the position of the right foot to find just the right sensation of release for you in the outer left hip. So whatever you've chosen for your medicine, let's be here together now for a handful of breaths. And if you're in Pigeon Pose, gently rising to the hands, leaning onto your left hip, the front hip, and sweeping the back leg around to stack the knees, feet outside opposite hips in Gomukhasana. And it's okay if the knees aren't perfectly stacked. Mine don't. The way my legs are shaped and the muscles of my legs, it's almost impossible for me to do that. So just doing the best we can. And let's arrive together. Right leg on top of left, or right shin in front of left shin for Sukhasana. Hip creases or thumbs to hip creases, anchoring down, lengthening upwards. And as you're ready, bowing sweetly forward. And if it feels really good to keep the thumbs anchored into the hip creases, feel free to stay there. But if you want to release the hands forward, you can. Once again, beautiful one, softening the gaze or closing the eyes. Returning to the breath, just like you might watch the waves of the ocean coming into shore. And then we'll inhale and gently rise. Again, we're nearly there. Last little twist, bringing the sole of the right foot to the mat outside the left knee or inside, whatever's most comfortable for you. If you're in the easy cross-legged, bringing left hand to right knee as you turn. Okay. And those of us in Ardha Matsyendrasana legs, wrap the arm around today. That's my invitation. Of course, you can hook the arm. The invitation for me today for you is to wrap the arm as you reach the back arm back into a warrior two shape. Another breath here with the back arm reaching maybe just a little further back and a little further around. And then releasing that hand to the floor just behind the pelvis. One more in-breath. And on the out-breath, unwinding and coming back to center. Let's take a moment, if you like, to take one more downward facing dog, just to offer the spine a lovely sense of evenness of length through both sides, right and left side. As you reach the hands into the mat, lifting the tops of the thighs up and back, sitting bones rolling upwards towards the ceiling behind you. And then we'll exhale. Gently lower the knees to the mat, hips to heels, and just take a moment in child's pose. You might separate the elbows, stack the hands, rest the forehead. And if you prefer to just create a little more space for belly, for baby, you can separate the knees. You can always widen your stance in our yoga practice if you're pregnant, just to create space for baby. Just take in this moment as you turn in on yourself, these last few moments of our practice today, to notice how it feels, to feel at ease, or perhaps just a little more at ease in your own skin. Next in breath, you can gently press down and draw yourself upwards. Thank you so much, beautiful ones, for sharing your practice. I look forward to practicing with you next time. If you enjoyed the practice and would like to share it with a loved one, then please feel free to, or just like or subscribe so that you can practice with me again in the future. Sending you all my love. Have a wonderful rest of your day, rest of your week. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Peace, peace, peace.